Joining us now is Representative Jody Hice, the congressman proudly serving Georgia's 10th congressional district. Congressman, when we look at the executive order that the president put into place today, it's a lot of reforms being met from the administrative level that a lot of people are agreeing with across the political spectrum. What is your response to what you saw today in that order?
Yeah, I think it's a great step in the right direction. Look, this is not a time for us to be defunding police departments or even eliminating them. This is a time that we need to start supporting and looking for changes. And the move towards giving funds to those departments and agencies that increase training in de-escalation tactics, that's the right way to go. We need to move in that direction and not on the direction of defunding police departments altogether. I mean, does anyone really believe that's a good idea? It just leads to anarchy. But if we can lead our departments to de-escalate problems, that's a great step in the right direction.
And to that point, too, what the president did was giving resources to different things that actually those defund advocates are calling for. Co-responders, for example, make sure that there's more specialized individuals that are responding, but doing so without taking funds away from our nation's police officers. And I think that you're right to say that taking resources away from those individuals does nothing to improve that situation. They won't help the training. They won't get better resources. They won't be put in a situation that allows them to succeed if you take away those resources. So from a legislative perspective as well, what the president did is from the executive branch. It's more of an administrative order. Is there any legislation that is making its way through the lower chamber that looks to address the same issue?
Oh, well, there is some legislation that's taking place. The Senate in particular right now, and being led by Senator Tim Scott, is underway. Likewise, in the House, Speaker Pelosi and the Democrats are involved in something. Again, we are largely being left in the dark on that. We have no idea what it's going to entail. But Senator Scott is coming out. It looks like he will mirror some of the things that the president in the executive order have been aiming towards. And I think there's some good steps in the right direction. But I think we need to be very careful. Police departments, they are best capable. Not one size does not fit all. The police departments in my district or in some smaller towns are very different from Atlanta or big metropolitan areas. And I think we need to be very careful with the federal government coming in and dictating with a bunch of mandates what every agency should look like. I think some general guidelines of de-escalation tactics is a great step in the right direction, but we don't want to be overbearing in all of this because every department is different and they need some latitude to do what's in the best interest of their communities.
I think that is a very important point. I mean, the New York Police Department, for example, has very different crises, very different challenges than, for example, the Lake Zurich Police Department in Illinois, where I'm from. I mean, they're two very different situations that require two very different responses. So I think that is a very correct way to approach this, too. I mean, addressing the fact that there are different challenges for those different departments. But I do want to shift gears for the time being to the coronavirus pandemic that is still taking place in this country right now. Your home state of Georgia, it has seen an increase of cases, but I want to cut through that noise a little bit because the percentage of positives is also down during that same time. So that does suggest that it's a testament to increased testing, but not necessarily an increase in the spread of the coronavirus in the state of Georgia. So when we look at the way that that state has handled this crisis, what do you think we can take away from learning about it in order to apply to maybe other states as well?
Look, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can go back to work. We can open the economy while at the same time being safe about it and exercising common sense. And Georgia has done that. I'm very proud of the way that we have led this charge and the impact. I tell you, you drive around the state right now in business, we are absolutely unquestionably seeing a V-shaped recovery in our economy here in Georgia. And at the same time, we are seeing deaths are coming down. Our hospitals are nowhere near being overwhelmed. We are getting both sides of the equation accomplished. And you look at some of the blue states, for example, they still are shut down. It's just absolutely stunning to me, the difference and the inability to exercise common sense to open the economy in a safe kind of way. But here in Georgia, I can tell you things are bright and looking really, really good. I believe every single nursing home and community of elderly have been tested. And we're just taking care of those who are most vulnerable and being careful with everyone else and opening up things are looking great.
And Congressman Hice, you bring up the V-shaped recovery right there too. And before I let you go, I want to get your opinion. Do you think that there should be another stimulus package that maybe some people have recommended, or a relief package, if you will, or should we wait and see how the economy does as things begin reopening?
Yeah, my basic default is let's wait and see how things are going. I see what's happening in Georgia. I'm very excited about that. But look, you look at other states, as I mentioned, some blue states that are still shut down. There is no amount of money that can stimulate an economy that is shut down. A free economy means there is an open economy. So to have another stimulus package in states where they are not allowing people to work is an absolute waste of money. We've got to get down the idea here that it's good to open the economy and we can do so safely. Then let's talk about the need potentially for another stimulus.
Yeah, and I would be hesitant to even call it a stimulus for the very point that you just said. It's not stimulating anything. If anything, it's a relief package that's making up for some of the losses that we're experiencing during this time. But I think that's a very good way to approach it, too, because, I mean, this price tag does keep going up, but at the same time, people are starting to go to work more organically, so they may not need that same relief. Representative Jody Hice, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Likewise. Thank you.